The fallacy that learning English is difficult for a lot of people and for a few it is actually impossible under given circumstances has now taken the form of an established truth in Bihar. Hello viewers, my name is Tanay Shahi and in this video I will try to explain how can one overcome this fear and go past this psychological barrier and actually improve her or his English. Okay, so without any further ado, I will here mention 5 points if and when adopted can actually help one improve her or his English. So let us begin. So the first point is that accept the importance of English language. There are reasons why English language is called lingua franca. It is not because of absolutely no reason that people call it lingua franca. Now let me explain what exactly is lingua franca. Lingua franca is basically Latin language, but the phrase actually means a language that is universally accepted, or at least it is accepted in most of the cases and in most of the places. So English language is to some extent universally accepted. Okay, you have to understand the importance and you have to drop your ego. You have to step out of this state of denial. Okay, you have to understand that it is important. So first thing is to change the mindset. You change your mindset and you will understand, you will come to terms with the fact that actually English language is important. If you do not realize the importance of English language, you are not going to learn it. And that's predominantly the problem with the people from Bihar. They believe that no, they can manage all the things in Hindi and English language is just something, completely useless and they should not be having decent knowledge of English language. So let me tell you one thing, had English been so useless or had English been so difficult, people would not have been putting continuous effort to learn this language. Anyway, moving to the second point, which is assign maximum importance to English grammar. Now this is something that a lot of people ignore. Basically we believe that if we read a lot of English, if we communicate, if we get into an environment, if the ambience supports us, we will end up learning English. That is not going to happen. You have to understand the importance of English grammar, because it is the lack of knowledge of English grammar that brings all the hesitation, right? That takes away the confidence. So when you make yourself very good in English grammar, you automatically start getting this confidence and you do not even think twice before speaking anywhere. Of course you think twice, you give your words a second thought. What I am trying to say is you do not hesitate before speaking. So give importance to grammar, assign maximum importance to grammar. It is okay if you are not reading newspaper, it is okay if you are not reading books. But if you are ignoring grammar, no matter how many books you read, you will not even understand the basic concepts of English. And those grammar rules, not having the knowledge of those grammar rules will certainly one day bring you down to level 0. Third point is first write and then speak. Because what happens that a lot of time we first speak and then we write, and it is basic human nature to speak a lot of irrelevant and inconsequential things, and you don't want, nobody would prefer that those inconsequential things come and acquire a place in their written piece of literature. No, first write something down, be very careful while writing. And there is one good thing about writing, that when you write something, you think at least 4 to 5 times before writing down a sentence. So that will definitely enhance your ability to think one particular sentence in 4-5 different ways. So first write something down and make sure whatever you have written, you have to speak the same thing. Because when you speak, you are free to make errors. You make errors and it is totally okay. But when you write something down, you actually have to let go of the opportunity to rectify it. It is already registered there. You cannot change it. Whenever you write something, it gets submitted. And once it is submitted, once it is in the archives or once it is registered, you cannot rectify it. And if you make mistakes in your piece of literature that you have written, it will be quite embarrassing for you. Okay, fourth point is read anything to everything. Okay, start from the basic Do not simply pick books written by authors who use extremely complicated sentence structures. And here are 4 or 5 recommendations that I would like to add here. Read books of Sudha Murthy. Read books of Paulo Coelho. Read books written by R.K. Narayan. Read Rabindranath Tagore. And also read Osho, because Osho uses very short, crisp and meaningful sentences. Okay, if you don't want to read these books, fine. Read NCERT books. Okay, NCERT books are something that we have been ignoring, and we have ignored it throughout our lives. Pick any English NCERT book, read it, and you will understand how beautifully those books have been written. Okay, so read from NCERT books. Okay, there is no need to read newspaper, because the problem with reading newspaper is that we get subscription of newspaper, and it is actually difficult for a tenderfoot, for a novice, to finish a newspaper in one go. Come on, just imagine something that you are not good at and you have to do that thing for 4 hours continuously. Would you perform that thing? No, you would not perform that thing. So that's the biggest problem with newspapers. People get newspapers, people start purchasing newspapers on daily basis, and they do not read it. So stop newspaper reading. Now it's very easy. You simply read the books that I have recommended to you. Read from the websites which have been written by those authors, or that contain pieces of literature of those authors. And the most important point, which is 5th point, is that listen to authentic foreign news channels and the podcast platform, because in India what exactly we do is we imitate their English, and in the process of imitating their English we end up spoiling the actual beauty of English language. So be very cautious. Make sure that you pick the finest source and listen to English there only. Because if you are picking up some random source, some random Indian podcast or some random Indian, prank show or roast channel, and you are you hope that you will learn English from there, that is not going to happen. You keep these 4 or 5 things in your mind, and within 8 months, within 6 months, you will learn very good English. And let me give you a warning. If it takes you more than 6 to 8 months, probably you have cheated somewhere in the mid. Probably you have not been following the right path. So learning English is not difficult. You just have to go past the psychological barrier which serious conditioning has put forth you. You have to go past that barrier and you will end up learning English. Let me make this thing very clear. No English spoken class or whatever, which advertisements of which you see here and there, help you to learn English. Those classes are there just to make money, right? Because there is good amount of money involved in this business, and it is to some extent, ethical. I mean, you cannot declare these things unethical. So a lot of people are into this business. Be very cautious and follow these 4 or 5 points, and your English will be just fine, absolutely fine. Also, if you like this video, please subscribe the channel, because the channel belongs to a person who is actually learned and can actually help you improve things, especially in English. Thank you very much. Namaskar.